Science needs to be creative. Science needs to be like art, because the more creative that kids are, it just leads to them asking questions, and those questions lead to research, and that research leads to inventions and innovation, and that's really where you want to take it. My idea for the Kids in Medicine program was to be able to offer something that was really unique.
As we both got involved in Seattle Science Foundation in training physicians and health professionals, it seemed a very natural fit to bring children up here and give them the opportunity to be exposed to biology and physiology and medicine.
Something that was hands-on, an experience that they couldn't get anywhere else.
The minute you touch or feel or manipulate, all of a sudden it becomes real and it becomes part of the student. And it's not just something that, oh, I had to learn this for school. It becomes something that they know and they carry forward.
These are state-of-the-art facilities, and for kids to be able to put their hands on a heart that looks pretty darn close to a human heart is priceless, and to be a part of that is really neat. It helps me connect the dots as a teacher, I guess.
I don't think there's a program like this for elementary students anywhere. Everything is new, everything is different, so they can do things that they've not ever had an opportunity to do.
It exposes them to a whole new world that they wouldn't otherwise have been exposed to.
This is amazing here. The facility and the technology that you're using is incredible, and I have never seen that, and the kids are so excited.
I think it's really fascinating, not just having to look at just a diagram as the real thing.
My favorite thing is dissecting the heart, because I like working with the instruments and discovering new things.
I think it's different than school because we actually get to be here hands-on doing it instead of listening to people talk about it, which is, in my opinion, more fun. I always remember things better when it's just hands-on.
I wonder how those things work. I wonder what it looks like inside. I wonder what it looks like to take it apart, put it back together, because those are the type of thought process I think that are really important to encouraging kids into these type of career paths.
If you have a curious kid, or you can make the kid curious, and you provide the opportunity to explore that curiosity in an environment that's friendly, that's stimulating, and that's sort of a non-traditional classroom setting, and allow it to grow, I think you've been successful.
The key to it really is allowing them to touch and feel and say, I wonder, and being able to be creative enough to explore more.
They all walked in and said, oh, gross, when can we start? So it was that automatic, this is really kind of gross and disgusting, but this is so cool. So they saw that in a different light. So maybe they'll take that and push themselves a little bit to try something else.
The bigger picture is planting the seeds of inquisition in these kids and getting the message across to them that there's a lot out there, and a lot of it's got to do with science.
I feel very strongly that a lot of kids make choices that are not fully vetted, for lack of a better term. I think kids don't get the appropriate exposure, whether it be political science or media or biology. And I think you look at every kid and there could be a world-famous violinist within his soul, or there could be a great doctor or a great writer. And I think it's critical as an adult to make sure that children get that exposure.
We're trying to get kids to think about their health, and trying to kids know what cardiovascular fitness is, and know what muscular endurance is, and know what muscular strength is, and know how the actions they can take to impact their own health.
We asked them, what do you want to do when you go home? And several of the kids afterwards said, I want to make sure my mother makes something healthy for dinner.
You noticed that they were all talking, and you noticed that they were saying, look at this, what is this, how does this work? And they had to actually face each other and look at each other and listen to each other. We have to really balance that carefully, and this would do it, because you're having the technology plus true communication skills.
The next step for this program is really to be able to offer it to as many children and as many schools as possible. I'd like to really start with the public school system and be able to provide that opportunity that they wouldn't otherwise have.
The number of parents that I talked to just today who said, my student wants to come back next year. They want to know when you're coming out to their school. They want to know when they get to do this again. They're very excited, and they know that there aren't opportunities like this that are often available, and are wishing that there would be.
Just to be able to have this opportunity presented to the students it is great. So I hope for them it's been a great experience.
It has to be funded. When we go take a field trip, it's $200 out of our classroom budget. just for the bus. If it's not funded, we can't come. And sometimes it's as simple as transportation. If we can get kids to the places, you're going to be able to do this program.
Even outside of those core areas of math, reading, and writing, it's about having kids have knowledge-based outcomes and not just being able to do push-ups and sit-ups and run and be in good shape, but also take the responsibility and have the knowledge-based content for what it takes to be a healthy person. The curriculum that kids got today really connected well to that. So I was really thankful that we can make those connections between what's happening in the school, what we want kids to learn, what the state of Washington wants kids to learn, and what we're doing here. It just seems to fit really well together.
Whether they come in here to the Seattle Science Foundation or we're able to bring something out into the classroom, that would be an experience they would remember forever.
I just want you to know how impressive this was, how well organized it was. I could not believe every time I asked Joni about, well, am I supposed to send out the parents this? She says, no, I'm emailing it to you now. And I was like, oh, well, what about the buses? How do I get those paid for? It's done. So it takes an incredible amount of time for a teacher to teach and organize at the same time, and so that's why we eliminate a lot of field trips. So thank you for doing all the organization, because what I got to do is come and watch my students learn and enjoy and kind of stand back a little bit. That was really important to me.